boots on the ground when you're doing virtual. How do you go about that a little bit?
Well,
I mean,
it's not
you go through
easy, just the truth.
Okay.
It just
Yeah.
so it's a lot of testing, so to speak. So we pick market. So we always have 3 to 4 markets virtually we're entrenched in, and we put time in. So we know on average, and guys, this is a valuable tool. It takes 3 months to even get, in my opinion, profitable on average for a virtual market. Every now and then we go in and it just didn't even slightly work out. When we get out fast as we can because we just click a button and do new marketing material and get new lists. We find a market we want to penetrate. If it's much easier if we've had previous experience there, meaning maybe somebody lived there or even they have a family member or they know the lay of the land. Huge advantage. But for the most part, I don't. I'm fortunate enough to have enough connections through YouTube and everything else. It's not as hard as it used to be for me. But when I had to get someone to go help me get something signed, I compartmentalize. So we always start out with someone just taking pictures to see if we have a deal. Because the hardest part virtually, as you'll agree, is you can have a price, but the repairs don't add up to what they need to be. And if you didn't count on a $50,000 repair, your deal doesn't even make sense. That's usually the hardest thing to get over. So I'll pay anyone between $50 and $100 to go get us pictures. And here's what I learned the hard way is I do not pay them till they successfully load every picture on a Google Drive link and I can see them clearly. That's it. Like if they don't, everybody wants to prepay me. When you prepay me them, 70% of the people will take your money and run. And the next question is, how do you find them? I find Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups in that area. I do not like Craigslist anymore. It's just been a nightmare for us in the last 6 months. It's just every scam artist seems to wind up on Craigslist. So if you can have a group where you know it's legit and it's like organic, you're better off getting it that way. You'll never find these people on Indeed, and you just got to keep posting. And then you have to give them strict instructions. And if they break the instructions, move on, because it only gets worse from there. Guys, I've done this with people with bandit signs. I do it with people with pictures. Now, photographs are pretty straightforward. Hopefully so if it's in a house that's vacant, I'll have them take pictures all the way around the house. And occasionally I'll just have them shoot pictures through the windows because I just need to assess and see if I have a deal or not. Now, 50% of them don't work out, but the cost to me to get on a plane and go over there, like it would be astronomical. So stop losing sleep over $50, $75 to do it. The challenging part is when you have to intertwine them with showing cash buyer and then maybe getting a final document signed from the seller or keeping the seller away from the cash buyers. And that person, you got to see if they can do basic tasks first before you give them that responsibility, because it's hard. And like, how do you pay that person? That's challenging too. Now, here's a little secret. If I need to get something signed, I've learned the hard way. I find a mobile notary. You can go to, I think it's notary123.com. And on average, it's usually about $70, can be as high as $100 if you need it like that day. And you can send them the documents, and their only job is to make sure they sign it and they match the ID of the person that's signing it. The reality, though, is if you have someone that you have to talk them off a ledge a little bit and like go over some stuff with, you're going to have to create an incentive to get them to do that. Typically what I'll do is I'll take a photographer, or I'll go to one of those mobile notaries and say, listen, I know I hired you to do this. If I gave you an extra $200, could you help them walk through this document? And mobile notaries, a lot of them are behind the scenes investors, and they'll help you out doing it. I know that's a little, I'm not saying it's unethical, but they know how to have conversations. So remember, a notary's job is what? To verify the person they're signing the document is who they say they are. That's it. They're not a salesperson. So if you're trying to get a mobile notary to get someone over the edge to sign based on a condition, you're not going to be happy. Now, I found this in my local market by accident. I go, man, you're really good at the mobile notary thing. Could you help me if I had to walk somebody off of a ledge? He's like, well, what do you mean? And they'll say, what's in it for me? I go, why don't we just do 2.5 times your mobile notary fee? He goes, as long as I'm not there more than an hour. I'm like, I can buy your time for that for an hour? Yeah. Guys, game changer. What we used to do is hire people and give them like 5 or 10% of the deal. It was a nightmare. So like little tricks. The other thing is sometimes you can do older real estate agents that like having those types of conversations, but they usually want a little bit more. So on an agent like that, you're going to have to give them like $100 up front, like when they complete it. And then they usually want like 1% of the transaction, and they're always thinking from the commission base. So it gets a little expensive when you start doing that. So I always try to find people that are crafted to what they like to do. So please don't put someone taking pictures in charge of talking to your seller or a cash buyer. It's going to kill your deal every time. And then when you find good people, just take care of them and just keep going. And sometimes I go through 8 or 9 people. Every time I go to a new market, it's a minimum 3 people I have to go through to get what I want. And I always start, I go, listen, can you just take a couple pictures? And they go, no, I know how to talk to people, take a couple pictures. If you do that, then we'll talk about future ventures and just test people out. I find if you test people out in small increments first, but please don't test them out with your sellers because it's usually a disaster. By the way, you can also find title people. You'd be surprised what a title. So if a title will go do a mobile closing, I guarantee there's someone there that will help you talk to a seller. Or sometimes I have sellers go into the title company and the title company helps me walk through while they're on speakerphone. But I'm just giving you different ideas because taking pictures is the easy part. Just do not prepay them. They're just some ideas for you on like how we do it. But a lot of times when we have our virtual markets, it takes one person to go out and visit them just to make them feel better and convince them to sign on the dotted line. Remember, I'm not selling them. I'm just saying, listen, when we say we're going to pay closing costs, we mean it. And if we say we're going to close in 30 or 45 days, we mean it. What issues do you have? And she'll say, well, how do I know you guys are legit? Mr. Ginn's done countless deals. Here's the title company. Do you want me to call the title company, make you a little bit more comfortable with it? And then you usually answer 2 or 3 questions and they sign, and that's it. But if you send somebody in that has no real estate experience, you'll probably create more questions than it's worth and the deals fall apart. Unfortunately, I learned this the hard way over a 3-year bout doing virtual because when I started doing virtual, I was just like everybody else. I was trying to figure out how to make it work. So test people out in small things. And if they disappoint you taking pictures, don't ever have them talk to your sellers. I used to hire one person to take pictures, bring the cash buyers through and deal with the seller. And those are the people that will 9 times out of 10 steal your deal. So it's hard, but like a licensed real estate agent, a title company or a mobile notary, they're not going to steal your deal because they're scared they're going to get a licensing infraction or something like that. So if it's right or not, I don't care, but it works for me. So if you guys want to run with that, it works.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that. I like the title company, like calling the title company ahead of time, get a little rapport and tell them what you're going to do. And then if something comes down the pipeline, you at least have a little rapport with them.
Guys, and keep in mind, if you ask your title company, especially in your virtual markets, if they'll do mobile closings, like, dude, it's a big commitment to do if they'll do that, it's a great sign for your title company. Number 2, if you can get somebody's cell phone at the title company, it's even a better sign. Those people will help you because when you close, they get paid. And they'll do assignments, they'll do double closings, whatever you need. So if they want to facilitate it, they'll usually do it. So sometimes start with your title company. And guess what? If your title company won't do it, they'll probably put you in touch with someone that will possibly help you out. So you just have to be hyper, you have to do a lot of work and you got to find solutions because no one's going to find the solution for you. It's up to you to find it. And a lot of people, they want to click like they want to put it in ChatGPT or they want to do a Google search. Unfortunately, you are going to be the link that puts that together and gets it done. So it's exhausting, man. Like I'm working on a major rehab in a state very far away from me. And it's like, I think we called 36 contractors to get down to 1 or 2. It's painful because I can't trust anyone. I don't know them. So I can only look at what I see online. And then I ask for references and I call the references and boy, do you get some great answers on it. So guys, remember the one thing you get today, if you just ask quality questions for anybody who's pushing you to hire them, ask quality questions and that'll usually tell you if you're in the right company or not. Make sense?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, Tim, man, I appreciate you. So